All of my radical marketers subscribe to the channel. Salute to you too. Without you guys, I couldn't even be doing this. So the more this channel grows, the more likes you give to the videos and comments, the more the channel grows to other people so they can see the videos. So if you guys can keep liking and keep commenting, that's the best thing you guys can do for me, and I'll keep bringing that value. All right. So today's topic is going to be a little bit different. A lot of people may not even know that this exists. I'm going to put this video in the financial literacy playlist. So make sure you check out all the playlists too, because I have a ton of playlists on this channel. The videos are growing on this channel. So make sure that you guys go check out the playlist and see if there's any other videos you want to watch and learn from. Okay. But what is the maximum exposure limit? Okay. Do you guys know what that is? Comment below what you guys know about it. I kind of experienced this firsthand. Banks and credit unions have their own underwriting rules, okay? So every bank is different and every credit union is different. And most of the time you won't find these data points unless they come from somebody that internally used to work for the bank or the credit union, or there's been a lot of experimentation. I get a lot of my information from credit boards and from internal sources. And so this right here is something that's different at every bank and credit union. Basically, what a maximum exposure limit, there's twofold to this. Some banks and credit unions have a maximum exposure limit period externally, and then some of them have it internally. There will be banks that won't lend to you based on how much credit that you have available to you, because they will look at you as a credit risk. Like, why does a regular personal credit report why does this normal Jane Doe or Bobby Joe, whatever you want to call the names for these people, but why does this male or female need to have $500,000 in available credit? Why do they need to have $750,000 in available credit? Why do they need $1 million in available credit? Why do they have this much credit available to them? They will ask themselves that question if they're doing the manual underwriting, and they may choose to not lend to you or give you a credit card because they will look at you as a high risk. That is the negative side of high credit funding. But guys, rest assured, that's a dime a dozen. Like that is not going to be a lot. I'm sorry, not a dime a dozen. That's going to be like 1 out of 20 that you come across. That's going to be your super uber conservative lenders that actually do that. Most people, if you have credit, they're going to keep lending to you because they know you can manage the credit and they want to compete for your debt. Okay, so don't get scared off by this video saying, well, you just said that the maximum exposure limit. No, guys, I'm letting you know what it is because you need to know what it is more so internally than externally. Externally, they can look at your credit report and say, okay, great. Well, if they make $180,000 a year and they have $500,000 available credit, why would we even give them a credit card? Because they could default on all this. That's basically what that is. So in a maximum exposure limit, if they're picky about that, you want to make sure that the number that you report on your credit app is more than your available credit. That way it's not lopsided, if that makes sense. So that's going to be maximum exposure limit from the external side. The internal side is different. Here's an example. Navy Federal Credit Union. I like to use them a lot because I bank with them, and you guys know I love Navy Federal. Okay, this applies to anybody though. Okay, Navy Federal will say you get 3 cards total on the personal side. Okay, and the credit limits will not exceed $50,000 for each card except for one, which is our flagship signature card, and that will have an $80,000 limit. So you cannot have more than $180,000 in credit limit on the personal side. That's their rule. Okay? So you can't have 4 cards because you'd be exceeding their exposure limit. You can't be having $300,000 because you'd be exceeding their $180,000 exposure limit. Okay? That's what a maximum exposure limit is. How much is the bank going to expose themselves to a credit risk from the borrower? That's basically what that is. And a lot of people don't realize that, because here's a real life scenario that I had, okay, with First Tech Federal Credit Union. Give me 1 second. First Tech Federal Credit Union, if you look at it on the boards, they're amazing. A lot of people don't know about them. We'll be doing some videos about them. I've done one video about them. But they have this card that can go like 100 grand, okay? They're like the official, as of right now, they're the official credit union for the Portland Trail Blazers. They have a lot of great products. They're one of the best credit unions out there, but they're incredibly conservative with their lending. Like if you've had any inquiries in the last year or any new accounts, forget about it. If you put anything down on your application that doesn't exceed your overall credit limit that you have available to you, forget about it. So in my situation, if I made $180,000 and I had $400,000 in available credit, just for an example's sake, they wouldn't give me that card because they would be exposing themselves to a credit risk in their eyes, and so I would be denied. So there are credit unions like that won't even give you a credit card if it exceeds their maximum exposure limit, just so you guys know that, okay? Now, how can you combat that? Well, number one, you want to watch videos before you apply for different credit products. If you're trying to apply to Navy Federal, you want to take a day and binge watch on all the Navy Federal videos you can find. Leave comments on your favorite YouTubers. Go to credit boards. Search it all out you can, because a lot of times people are super generic but not super specific. A lot of people are generalists but not people very specific, okay? And so that's what you want to do, because you don't want to be applying for something and get denied. If you get denied, it's not the end of the world. You just wipe off the inquiry, and there's a lot of companies that you can pay to do that, or you can learn to do that yourself. And so that is going to be, it's not going to be the end of the world if you're denied for it, but why go through all that if you can just do it right the first time? It's kind of my philosophy. But I wanted to do a video on this because people are wondering why they're getting denied. And here's the thing too. What do you think during economic hard times and high inflation and a pandemic? What do you think is going to happen with maximum exposure limits? Do you think banks are going to lend as much as they normally do? No. I mean, Wells Fargo just slashed personal lines of credit. A lot of other things will start following and dropping too. That's why people were so worried about Wells Fargo, is because if they did it, who else is going to do it? You know, they set the precedent. And so other people started following along as well. And I'll be doing videos on that. But anyways, that's maximum exposure limit. Comment below if you've had any experience with that. What banks are bad with that? What banks don't matter with that? Any type of comment you can leave on this video, even if it's like good video, do that so this video can go out to the YouTube world. And I appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Take care.